Question 471. Which technology allows for real-time analysis of security alerts generated by network devices and applications? A. LACP. B. DSCP. C. CM. D. LWAP. Correct answer. C. CM. CM, Security Information and Event Management, is a technology that allows for real-time analysis of security alerts generated by network devices and applications. It collects and aggregates data from various sources, such as firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and servers, and analyzes this information to identify potential security threats. Question 472. What is the key distinction between pseudonymization and anonymization? A. Anonymization can be undone using a hash. B. Anonymization relies on encryption. C. Pseudonymization requires supplementary data to identify the data subject again. D. Pseudonymization uses randomized identifiers. Correct answer. C. Pseudonymization requires supplementary data to identify the data subject again. Pseudonymization is a data protection process where identifiable information is replaced with artificial identifiers. However, the original data can still be restored using supplementary information, allowing the data subject to be re-identified if necessary. Anonymization, on the other hand, involves removing all identifiable elements in a way that makes it impossible to trace the data back to the individual, even with additional data. Once data is anonymized, it cannot be re-identified. Question 473. Which of the following is not a typical level within an information policy? A. Confidential. B. External. C. Private. D. Public. Correct answer. B. External. Information policies usually categorize data into levels like confidential, private, and public, according to its sensitivity and access controls. External is not a standard classification. Instead, data may be classified as public if it is meant for external distribution, or confidential if it is restricted to internal use. Question 474. What is the best definition of an alternate worksite? A. A location that is seldom used. B. A location used to supplement the primary worksite when it's full or occupied. C. A location used when the primary worksite is unavailable. D. A location in a different state or country than the primary worksite. Correct answer. C. A location used when the primary worksite is unavailable. An alternate worksite is a location used when the primary worksite is unavailable by providing continuity of operations during disruptions. It helps organizations maintain productivity by ensuring employees have a designated backup location in case of emergencies, disasters, or other interruptions. Question 475. Which of the following is not an advantage of a serverless architecture? A. It can scale when the frequency of function calls decreases. B. It can scale when the frequency of function calls increases. C. It eliminates the need for a system administrator. D. It is well suited for complex applications. Correct answer. D. It is well suited for complex applications. Serverless architecture is built for applications with variable workloads or those that can be divided into smaller stateless functions. It offers high scalability and removes the need for system administrators to manage servers. However, it is generally not suitable for complex applications that need extensive infrastructure or persistent state management. Serverless architectures are more appropriate for lightweight, event-driven, or microservices-based applications. Question 476. Sophia is a network administrator concerned about the security of peripheral devices. What basic step could she take to enhance the security of those devices? A. Implement full disk encryption. B. Implement digital certificates for all peripherals. C. Disable remote access, SSH, Telnet, etc., if unnecessary. D. Use fuzz testing for all peripherals. Correct answer. C. Disable remote access, SSH, Telnet, etc., if unnecessary. Disabling remote access to peripherals that do not require it is a fundamental step to enhance the security of those devices. Many peripherals, such as printers, routers, and other network devices, may have remote management interfaces like SSH or Telnet that, if left open and unprotected, can be exploited by attackers. Question 477. Lucas needs to describe the access control scheme used by both Windows and Linux file systems. What access control scheme do they implement by default? A. Discretionary access control. B. Mandatory access control. C. Role-based access control. D. Rule-based access control. Correct answer. A. Discretionary access control. Discretionary access control is the access control model used by default in both Windows and Linux file systems. In this model, the owner of a resource, such as a file, has the discretion to decide who can access it and what kind of access they are granted: read, write, execute, etc. Question 478. Ben is conducting a penetration test of a client's network. He is currently gathering information from sources such as archive.org, netcraft.com, social media, and information websites. What best describes this stage? A. Active reconnaissance. B. Passive reconnaissance. C. Initial exploitation pivot. D. Mahmoud wants to prevent SSRF attacks. Correct answer. B. Passive reconnaissance. Passive reconnaissance is any reconnaissance done without actually connecting to the target. In this case, Mahmoud is conducting a form of OSINT, or open source intelligence, by using commonly available third-party information sources to gather information about his target. Active reconnaissance involves communicating with the target network, such as doing a port scan. The initial exploitation is not information gathering. It is actually breaking into the target network. A pivot is when you have breached one system and use that to move to another system. Question 479. Scott wants to download lists of malicious or untrustworthy IP addresses and domains using Stix and Taxi. Which of the following types of service is he looking for? A. A hunting feed. B. A rule feed. C. A threat feed. D. A vulnerability feed. Correct answer. C. A threat feed. Scott should look for one or more threat feeds that match the type of information he is looking for. Open threat feeds exist that typically use Stix and Taxi to encode and transfer feed data to multiple tools in an open format. None of the other feed types here would meet Scott's needs. Question 480. Emily's organization uses FTP for contractors to submit their work. The contractors work on sensitive customer data and use organizational credentials to log in and transfer the information. What sensitive data could attackers potentially gather if they capture the network traffic during this transfer? A. IP addresses for both the client and server. B. Nothing, because FTP is a secure protocol. C. The content of the files that were uploaded. D. Usernames, passwords, and file content. Correct answer. D. Usernames, passwords, and file content. FTP, File Transfer Protocol, transmits data, including usernames, passwords, and file content in plain text, making it vulnerable to interception. This means that if attackers capture the network traffic, they could gain access to sensitive information such as login credentials and the content of the files being transferred. Question 481. Rachel wants to prevent rogue DHCP servers on her network. What should she do to protect against this? A. Block traffic on the DHCP ports to all systems. B. Deploy an IDS to stop rogue DHCP packets. C. Disable DHCP snooping. D. Enable DHCP snooping. Correct answer. D. Enable DHCP snooping. DHCP snooping is a security feature used to prevent rogue DHCP servers from assigning unauthorized IP addresses on a network. It monitors DHCP traffic, only allowing responses from trusted DHCP servers while blocking untrusted ones. This helps protect against DHCP-based attacks, such as IP address spoofing and man-in-the-middle attacks, ensuring secure and reliable network operations. Question 482. In which industries is physical security particularly crucial? A. Retail and e-commerce only. B. Banking and healthcare. C. Social media and entertainment platforms. D. Remote work environments. Correct answer. B. Banking and healthcare. Physical security is particularly crucial in industries such as banking and healthcare because these sectors manage sensitive financial and personal health information. Protecting physical assets such as servers, records, and facilities is vital to prevent theft, unauthorized access, and potential damage. Question 483. What type of attack is occurring when a system on a network sends hundreds of Ethernet frames to a connected switch, each with a unique source MAC address? A. Etherspam. B. Hardware spoofing. C. MAC flooding. D. MAC hashing. Correct answer. C. MAC flooding. In a MAC flooding attack, the attacker sends numerous Ethernet frames to a network switch, each with a unique source MAC address. The aim is to overload the switch's MAC address table, which maps MAC addresses to specific ports. When the table becomes full, the switch can no longer make precise forwarding decisions, causing it to broadcast traffic to all ports. This can enable attackers to intercept or manipulate the traffic. Question 484. What type of attack occurs when a stranger befriends an employee, pretends to be a new hire, and uses the employee's ID to enter the company premises? A. Phishing. B. Soft intrusion. C. Social engineering. D. Vulnerability. Correct answer. C. Social engineering. Social engineering is an attack that exploits human behavior to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information or taking actions that jeopardize security. In this scenario, the attacker gains the trust of an employee and uses their ID to gain unauthorized access to the company's premises. Question 485. You're working on improving security at your company and creating an outline of aspects to address. What term describes the process of enhancing security in a trusted operating system? A. Baselining. B. FDE. C. Hardening. D. SED. Correct answer. C. Hardening. Hardening is the process of enhancing security in a trusted operating system by reducing vulnerabilities, applying patches, disabling unnecessary services, and enforcing strict access controls. This approach minimizes potential attack surfaces and ensures the system is resilient against cyber threats. Question 486. An email arrives informing Rick that there is a limited time to act to get a software package for free, and that the first 50 downloads will not have to be paid for. What social engineering principle is being used against him? A. Authority. B. Consensus. C. Intimidation. D. Scarcity. Correct answer. D. Scarcity. Attackers are attempting to influence Rick with a combination of scarcity and urgency. Thus, in this case, you should answer scarcity since urgency is not listed. In many social engineering principle questions, more than one of the principles may be in play, and you will need to answer with the principle that is correct or more correct for the question. In this case, there is no intimidation or claim to authority, and consensus would require some form of validation from others. Question 487. William has been tasked with categorizing the risk associated with outdated software in his organization. What type of risk classification should he employ? A. External. B. Internal. C. Qualitative. D. Quantitative. Correct answer. B. Internal. Internal risks are those that the organization creates, while external risks are those that are beyond the organization's control. Qualitative and quantitative are both methods of risk assessment rather than risk categorizations. Question 488. Which of the following is a rule-based access control mechanism associated with files or directories? A. EFS. B. FACL. C. FIM. D. NTFS. Correct answer. B. FACL. FACL, File Access Control List, is a rule-based access control mechanism associated with files or directories that extends traditional file permission models by allowing more granular control over access. It enables administrators to define specific rules for individual users or groups, ensuring more flexible and precise security management. Question 489. Which of the following refers to a security policy enforcement tool or service positioned between cloud service users and cloud applications? A. UTM. B. CASB. C. NGFW. D. DMVPN. Correct answer. B. CASB. A cloud access security broker is a security tool or service that operates between cloud service users and cloud applications. It offers visibility and control over user activity and data access within cloud environments, assisting organizations in enforcing security policies, ensuring compliance, and safeguarding data from potential threats. Question 490. What consists of hardware, software, and firmware components within the TCB that enforces the reference monitor concept? A. Access monitor. B. Security kernel. C. Reference monitor. D. Access kernel. Correct answer. B. Security kernel. The security kernel is the part of the trusted computing base responsible for implementing the reference monitor concept. It includes a combination of hardware, software, and firmware components that collaborate to enforce access control policies, ensuring that only authorized users or processes can access specific resources. Question 491. Which of the following is not considered a best practice for securing a mobile device? A. Screen lock. B. Device encryption. C. Social networking. D. Remote wipe. Correct answer. A. Screen lock. Although screen locks, device encryption, and remote wipe are essential practices for securing a mobile device, social networking can pose security risks if not properly managed. It can lead to issues such as the exposure of personal information, susceptibility to phishing attacks, or accidentally sharing sensitive data. Question 492. Which option allows for the erasure of data on a lost or stolen mobile device? A. Rooting. B. Sideloading. C. Low-level formatting. D. Remote wipe. Correct answer. D. Remote wipe. Remote wipe enables an administrator or user to delete data from a mobile device remotely, typically as a security precaution if the device is lost or stolen. This helps protect sensitive information from being exposed. Question 493. What is it called when a security appliance mistakenly detects an issue when no actual issue exists? A. True positive. B. True negative. C. False positive. D. False negative. Correct answer. C. False positive. A false positive occurs when a security appliance incorrectly identifies an issue or threat, when, in fact, no issue exists. It results in the system generating an alert or response that is not warranted, leading to potential unnecessary actions or investigations. Question 494. What is the primary difference between MDM and UEM? A. MDM does not include patch management. B. MDM patches domain machines, not enterprise machines. C. UEM does not include support for mobile devices. D. UEM supports a broader range of devices. Correct answer. D. UEM supports a broader range of devices. MDM, Mobile Device Management, primarily focuses on managing mobile devices like smartphones and tablets, typically offering features such as security management, app management, and device tracking. In comparison, UEM, Unified Endpoint Management, goes beyond mobile devices to manage a broader range of endpoint devices, including desktops, laptops, tablets, and even IoT devices, all through a single platform. This enables UEM to provide a more holistic approach to managing different types of devices within an organization's network. Question 495. Sophia wants to use her users' information, such as birth dates, addresses, and job titles, for her identity management system. What term is used to describe this type of information? A. Attributes. B. Factors. C. Identifiers. D. Roles. Correct answer. A. Attributes. In identity management systems, attributes refer to pieces of information that describe a user, such as birth dates, addresses, job titles, and other personal details. These attributes help in identifying and managing users within the system. They provide essential information for categorizing and validating user identities, allowing for more effective access control and user management. Question 496. What is the main benefit of allowing only signed code to be installed on computers? A. It executes faster on computers with a trusted platform module. B. It guarantees that malware will not be installed. C. It improves patch management. D. It verifies who created the software. Correct answer. D. It verifies who created the software. Code signing involves applying a digital signature to software, which verifies the publisher's identity and ensures the software hasn't been altered since it was signed. This process helps build trust in the software by confirming its source and integrity, reducing the chances of installing malicious or unauthorized programs. Question 497. The term password vault refers to a credential manager program that stores usernames and passwords in encrypted form. A password vault requires a single master password to access various passwords used for different websites or services. A. True. B. False. Correct answer. A. True. A password vault is a software tool used to securely store and manage usernames and passwords by encrypting them. Users only need to remember one master password to access all the stored credentials, which reduces the risk of using weak or repetitive passwords across multiple services. Question 498. What type of virtualization technology is designed to provide and manage multiple desktop environments from a centralized system to improve security and simplify desktop management? A. Application virtualization. B. Network virtualization. C. Server virtualization. D. Desktop virtualization. Correct answer. D. Desktop virtualization. Desktop virtualization is a technology that enables the creation and management of desktop environments on centralized systems, which can be accessed by users remotely. This approach enhances security by keeping sensitive data on centralized servers instead of local devices, and simplifies management by allowing administrators to deploy and update software from a single location. Question 499. Which network topology allows each node to have a direct point-to-point connection with every other node? A. Bus topology. B. Star topology. C. Ring topology. D. Mesh topology. Correct answer. D. Mesh topology. Mesh topology is a network configuration where each node is connected to every other node through direct point-to-point links, providing multiple paths for data transmission. This ensures high redundancy and fault tolerance, meaning if one link fails, alternative paths can be used to maintain network connectivity. Question 500. In which type of attack does an attacker aim to alter information within your system? A. Access. B. Modification and repudiation. C. Denial of service. D. Interception. Correct answer. B. Modification and repudiation. Modification and repudiation attacks occur when an attacker tries to alter or tamper with information within a system. This may involve unauthorized changes to data, such as modifying records, configurations, or other details. It also includes the attacker's ability to deny their actions, repudiation, making it more difficult to trace the changes back to them. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful for you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more practice questions and tips.